Till the first, yes. Interesting.
Gunners are searching for surface targets.
The enemy ship sank. The enemy is burning.
Yeah,
Done.
so Bofors guns sound better now.
Enemy ship on fire.
Gunners are searching for airborne targets.
They also seem to have changed the bearing display at the top of the screen. It's smaller now, which is annoying in third person. Also because the sky is bright blue and it's bright green, so you can hardly see it. But,
Oh. Opposing planes, right?
explosions on ships seem to have been made a bit more dramatic as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, why not?
The enemy ship sank.
And yeah, the little green circle thing with the line sticking up out of it is your gun indication. I have to say that my question is, what do the markings in the scope actually mean at the moment? Because they go from plus to minus 40 horizontally and plus to minus 20 vertically. But there's no legend. Are these mils? Are these degrees? What? Also, I appreciate that with an aced crew, Baltimore can almost get 4 shots a minute.
Almost. Shouldn't it be exactly 15 seconds?
I'm getting 16 seconds reload.
No, maybe that's with an ace.
Yeah. And max reload skill. For some reason, 8-inch AP shells are killing a destroyer much faster than they're killing a light cruiser. It is worth noting, however, that this rangefinder thingy is now aiming for center mass. As in, the lead indicator is now center mass. Which I wonder if that's affected torpedoes, because previously torpedo indicators were pointing at the nose. So the question is the range it's giving to the center of the target because
I would guess so. I would hope so.
well, that might cause part of the issue then that you're having, because like Baltimore's fire direction is classed as 100% accurate. So if it's giving you the range for the middle of the ship, then if your salvo is coming in like short or coming in aimed at the center of the ship, then half the shells are going to be long.
The enemy is burning.
Huh.
So given that presently water doesn't exist, basically, it might be
Yeah.
worth deliberately shooting short. And yeah, so I set a salvo 200 feet short and I got a bunch of underwater hits.
Nice.
But yes, this FCS system actually somewhat feels like there is actually a ship being shot with, as opposed to man with binoculars. That said, man with binoculars would be accurate for a lot of the early battleships. My point being that something like Dreadnought should maintain the binocular vision. Also, Baltimore AP doesn't really do much to hippers. But then we're sitting here at 10,000 yards, which is hardly the distance this thing was intended to fight at.
And I'm trying to read the change level again.
Yeah.
It only says that rangefinder range is now tied to the selecting frame on targets in the naval RB.
Say again?
That rangefinder range is now tied to the selecting frame on targets in naval RB. Kinda translation or whatever it is. And the corrected range is now tied to the target selected frame. Thing.
Okay.
The value shows only the correction entered relative to the rangefinder range.
Can you just say, I love this turret marker system they've got at the bottom? So, if a turret is broken, the circle for it will be red.
Oh yeah, it's
And
there
if
somewhere.
if it's moving to the location, it will be dimmed out.
Yeah.
Which is weird because none of these things seem to be dimmed out when I'm moving the guns around. Yeah. Visual effects of large caliber hits, i.e. anything bigger than 80 millimeters, has been increased for everything. Visuals of shells hitting water have been reworked. Visual explosions of torpedoes, depth charges, and mines have been reworked. Visual appearance differences in underwater explosions, depending on the amounts of explosive, have been added.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that
Ups maybe.
50 kilo torp and 400 kilo torp are not going to have the same kind of explosive size.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. Probably shouldn't.
Visual effects of explosions of different types have been reworked for fleet stuff. Visual effects of fires have been reworked for fleet stuff. Splash effects have been added for hull collision with the waves. Oh yeah.
Haven't checked that.
Well, it would help if we actually had waves, wouldn't it? Perfectly flat sea.
I mean, we have waves when the ship is moving. And, I mean, there's something hitting the bow or the hull, so there are some waves.
Those aren't
Generate
waves, they're
our own movement.
minuscule. Actually, that's a question. Can I change the sea state in the test drive?
I mean, you should, yeah, you can. Should be able to. You just have to change the weather type. Haze your. I don't
That's
know.
not the sea state, that's the sky state.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they are tight.
Okay, let's
Together.
try a storm.
So
Gunners
yeah,
are searching
Ooh.
for airborne targets.
Yep, there are definitely now effects for the water hitting the ship. Oh, that's much more atmospheric.
Aircraft down.
Oh,
And now that we actually have an oh jeez. Yeah, radar FCS, when it comes, is going to be so broken. I can't see the PT... Oh, there it is. You know, I can't see the PT boat that's 500 yards from me.
but the radar can, hopefully.
Gunners
Yeah.
are searching for surface
Well, no,
targets.
the
Gunners are
rangefinder
searching for
can.
airborne targets.
Done. Done.
Oh, and you can fire without locking onto something.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I have auto lock disabled. Yeah, okay, so all rangefinders presently work like their radar fire direction, because I can lock onto this destroyer 5 kilometers away that I can't see.
Yeah, basically the same old system.
Enemy ship on fire.
There was blocking.
Yeah. So, magic visibility still is magic, but
Just works.
yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense for something like Baltimore. It doesn't make sense for, like Dreadnought. Yeah, okay, we need to have storms and stuff in matches. This is much more entertaining.
But my boats. Without stabilizer.
Well, it's almost like those things sucked in reality.
Almost like they were designed to go on like reverse.
And I'm sad because Baltimore's cranes are still stuck up in the air when they're down on Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Helena, etc.
No.
Oh well. Next quality of life feature to get added is Rudder Log.
Well, you can get that if you set your whatever that was into relative control.
I don't know.
The enemy ship sank.
And it's like you're giving your rudder percentage kind of lock.
Yeah.
You have to play with the sensitivity, but it can
Hey,
stay
yeah.
the same.
They seem to have actually modeled bow wake of some description, like affecting the waves and stuff. I just saw my prop with no water next to it.
Nice.
That's kind of concerning how high Balti's butt is riding,
Yeah.
or how low the. Oh, this is very atmospheric. When Opti decides to undeafen himself and come back. I should definitely get into a custom with him to do stuff like this. This is hilarious.
Hopefully he wasn't booted from the server, otherwise he can't do anything. Oh, by the way, if you're still on the server, Jerem,
Yeah.
can you see if the Kirovs?
What about the Kiros?
Um,
Oh, hey, Shadow.
whether in
No.
Tessia, she still has the light bulb on the back turret.
I'll have to
Around
look.
the back turret. Yeah.
Baltimore presently has a pair of boats just sitting on the cranes floating either side of the ship. Oh. No. Yeah.
But that's not interfering, right? I don't remember. Interfering.
I hope they enable weather. The storm is very good.
Jerem is mesmerized by the storm weather.
It's because
Interaction.
having actual sea state, so it's not just swimming in it's not just a swimming pool.
Yeah, it's not like a puddle or like a
You know.
like a bathtub.
Wait, what? You
You-
talking about a wish list or something that is now?
Oh, yes. As in,
I don't understand.
it's something that is presently in game, but isn't
Jerem said
used.
the weather is stormy in Tessia.
Oh, okay. So this isn't new. This update. This is something that's been a thing
There
for
is
a while.
something new about it, though.
Oh,
They've changed a bunch of graphical effects. They've added bow spray, so you actually have water spraying off your bow now, and
Nice.
where water's interacting. The FCS changes and stuff mean that fighting in rain could actually be entertaining.
interesting.
Well, that was a horrible miss. Okay, the follow the pointer shoots at the points at the center mass of the target, basically, regardless of if you're closing or if you're crossing its T, you still have to lead it. But you now have a pointer to lead from, so that's something.
Yeah, it's like an 8.
Yeah.
Wait, is there something it doesn't account for, or does it account for everything?
It doesn't quite account for lead properly.
Yeah, I mean it's not an aimbot, but kinda
It's
like
somewhat
an 8.
accounts for lead, but in like one dimension.
Ah, okay. So it does. It accounts like what for one of the ship's lead, but not the other, or one of the ship's movement, but not the other. Or what?
Well, it accounts
have
for
Transport
distance.
Y-axis.
Okay.
Like, I'm on the test drive shooting at stationary targets, but I'm moving forward at 32 knots. Basically perpendicular to what I'm trying to shoot at, and I'm overshooting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So it doesn't
yeah,
account for range in movement.
The
Yeah, that's what I said, John. That's so annoying that. Oh, it's not. That's not.
it
that.
does adjust for movement. It's just it's slow.
Ah.
Because it's basically resetting
Yeah.
the range every 10 seconds or so.
Yeah.
So it's effectively no different than X targeting then.
I mean, you can do this thing
Yeah.
that.
It's
Well, I mean,
automatic.
you get the
Basically,
like the
ranges-
horizontal lead, but the vertical is not updated often enough to be helpful.
At ranges less than 10k, yeah. At actual, like, ship-to-ship combat range that we should be fighting at, it actually should be a massive improvement. Like, it's going to be a lot easier to hit things at distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good for stuff which are moving in a straight line. 50 kilometers away.
I'm still just mesmerized by how nice the storm preset is.
This is why the
The app is marked.
too pretty.
I have read through the patch notes, and I have seen neither of the bugs that I passed to Optical last update, which fills me with confidence for them to be fixed.
Well, I'm not going to comment on Opti's workflow.
No, these are things that like were really simple. I did most of the work. You just had to like type it out a message, like not even a long one.
Well, if he was
So
actually...
the problems were radar breaks Mavericks, which I provided a video for, and the fact that weapon distance units are given in altitude units.
What?
Weapon distances are given in altitude units.
Wait, what?
I have my altitude set to feet, and all my weapon distances are in
The
feet.
enemy ship sank.
Oh, I have my altitude set to feet and all my distances are in yards.
You have your.
What?
Are you talking? Okay, your distances are in yards,
Yes.
but your weapon distances are probably in feet.
I don't know what you mean by weapon distances.
Look at it. Look at like a weapon stat card or fly a helicopter.
Oh, why would I fly a helicopter? That's hell.
Asking a good question.
Yeah, I think the TLDR of this FCS update thing is it makes third-person aiming in close quarters a lot easier. It makes aiming in bad weather easier, and it makes hitting things at long distance easier.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, it is just a substantial quality of life update. Plus, the nice little indicators for turret status are.
Yeah, I
beneficial.
think the UI is going to be more influential than the FCS, but that doesn't mean FCS is bad.
My only issue is that they've made the bearing indicator at the top bright green, and considering that the weather on every match is bright white sky, you can't see
Really
it.
hard to see.
Unless you're in the FCS where there's that little bit of vignetting in the middle. Yeah. I think that's me done gleeking for now. But other than that, I'm now successfully hitting things 4,000 yards away in third person, so... Are either of you on dev at the moment?
I'm still updating,
Uh,
and I have it on a hard disk, so it's kind of slow.
Still can't log in.
Now that I have
Yeah.
a massive SSD, I should probably move it to an SSD.
I have it specifically on a separate drive to my main War Thunder installation because it can do screwy things otherwise.
The enemy is burned.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't remember, do I have dev on
For also that exact reason.
No, dev is on a hard drive, but it still didn't take very long to download and update.
Well, I mean, it's not horribly slow. I still have good internet, but
Yeah.
it's not the speed I would get with an SSD.
Hmm.
I don't know if I ever posted it here, but I was downloading, I think, IL-2 on my
Yeah.
new SSD, and you know, I noticed it was faster than usual when it like got up to 50 megabytes a second, and then it went past 60, and then it went past 70, and then it peaked at 85.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was nice. But I'm not going to be getting that on a hard disk. Is that on you, Bari?
Hmm?
Something about a 3-inch practice machine?
Oh, no, that's Pittsburgh.
Oh.
But that's
Why
the
is it on Pittsburgh?
because Pittsburgh has 3-inch 50s.
Oh, for 3-inch 50s. I was thinking Yubari, just because Yubari was a training ship.
Yubari has
It's
a...
a training ship, right? I'm not crazy. Thought it was.
She has a pair of twin 5.5-inch guns and... yeah. And then a single 4.7-inch AA gun.
Well, you know, I just saw training unit and thought training ship, and I was like, yep.
Well, if you look on Baltimore, between the middle Bofors guns, there's the 5-inch loading machine there. The difference between Baltimore and Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh has 2 less
Much
mounts.
later refit.
Yeah. But, I mean, in terms of physical appearance, other than because the 3-inch 50s were heavier than they wanted them to be, so instead of it being 1 to 2, it's 1 to 3.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a training ship, it was an experimental ship.
Ah. So, basically for every quad Bofors mount, or for every 3 quad Bofors mounts, you could get 2
3-inch 50s? Yeah.
2 3-inch 50 twin mounts. And
Do they get VT?
presently, they don't, which is dumb, because that's what their main use was.
Uh-huh.
Opti's on that one.
Their main use was, oh no, the Bofors aren't blowing everything the fuck up in one shot, we need a new gun.
And the 3-inch 50 was the smallest gun they could fit a VT fuse in at the time.
Yeah.
Enemy ship on
So,
fire.
yeah.
Seems kind of stupid that they aren't implemented the way that, you know, they were designed.
Especially given that the twin 3-inch 50 is already in-game. That, and the 3-inch 50 itself is in-game on several vessels. Because, Asheville has a 3-inch 50
I mean, it's
on it, I
not
think.
even like it was a late round, right? Didn't it? Wasn't
That's
it
what it
first
started
used with
with.
VT? Yeah.
Yep. The 3-inch 50 has 3 shells. VT, nose fuse
AG and something
HE,
else.
and AP.
AP.
Yep, because
Bruh.
it was a main gun for some destroyer escorts. And
I didn't even
frigates and
think
things.
about that. That means you could have automatic firing secondaries equipped with AP
Yeah.
with like a decent caliber. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, if they gave you the option to choose.
Yeah. Hello, light cruiser. It'd be a shame if you got pumped full of 3-inch 50.
Or destroyers. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that goes back to like dreadnought-style torpedo boat defense.
But HE would just be better against those.
Yeah, still
in the
funny
current
though.
damage model.
100 rounds per minute of just 3-inch AP shells. Man, I've closed to Spanish-American War distances.
What?
I'm like half a mile away from this battleship. It's kind of a funny joke. The state of fire control, and especially just like in the U.S. Navy at that point in time, was absolutely horrendous. You know, the big battles of the Spanish-American War were fought at ranges of a mile to half a mile,
Yeah.
and they attained something like a 5% hit rate.
Incredible.
To think about it this way, at the Battle of Jutland, 20 years later nearly, a 5% hit rate was considered acceptable at 10,000 yards. Not 1,000. And then, by World War II, you were getting a 10% hit rate at 20,000 yards, you know? It's just, I have to get this close because I'm out of targets on the test map, so I'm just shooting at the battleship.
Alright, well I'm gonna go eat something while this finishes downloading.
That's a sensible idea. I should get dinner at some point. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, so you are saying my dinner.
Now I need to turn you off. I keep having to mess with people's volume.
Can't log in.
Enemy ship on fire.
It seems rain might have an effect on ships' fires,
Oh,
which is neat. But yeah, we definitely need more weather in naval battles. Especially when it comes to stuff like EC. Like, I'm sure they have the ability to implement rain squalls on just sections of a map.
I wonder whether choosing not to has anything to do with server load.